Greetings, PokeFans! Michael here. Quick little bit of self-promo before the video gets started. I posted a rant on my second channel about bad drivers, and it's getting a lot of positive feedback, so if you want to check that out, link is in the cards up there. Also, be sure to sign up for the Nintendo Switch giveaway that is still going on. You can win, well, a Nintendo Switch. So, links down in the description below. In this video, I am joined by my very good Pokemon YouTuber friend, PokeMEN. Say hello, John.
What is up, guys?
Thank you, John. A couple months ago, he and I started a series called the Pokemon Anime Theme Battles, where we reenact famous battles from the Pokemon anime using Pokemon Sun and Moon teams to pretty much see how the battles would go if they had played out in the games instead of the anime. We posted the first one, and then we didn't post any for several months because we both got super busy with school, but the series is back now, so you should be excited about that. The reason I mentioned this is because these battles got us thinking about the teams that Ash has had throughout his several journeys, and so because of that, we felt inspired to make a pair of top 5 videos about Ash's teams.
Over on my channel, we're going to be going over the top 5 Pokemon Ash should not have caught in the Pokemon anime.
This video is going to be the opposite. We're going to be talking about the top 5 Pokemon that Ash should have caught or should catch in the future for his Alola team. We're not going to be talking about Pokemon that he had a lot of interaction with and developed a relationship with, but did not add to his team, for example, Larvitar or Haunter. We're going to be talking about Pokemon that would have fit really well on his specific regional teams, or would fit really well on his future Alola team.
The decisions we made for this list were mostly based off of the Pokemon's typings that he had in the different regions, as we didn't want too many things to clash, and also how well they would go up against the gyms he would encounter in each region.
So be sure to leave a like on the video, comment below what Pokemon you think Ash should have had on one of his teams or should have on his Alola team in the future, and subscribe if you haven't. And without further ado, here are the top 5 Pokemon that Ash should have caught or should catch in the future. Number 5. Cutiefly on his Alola team. There are 4 types of Pokemon that Ash has never owned at any point. Ghost, Steel, Psychic, and Fairy. Fairy was only possible in Kalos and Alola since it was introduced pretty recently, and since, spoilers, we have a better fit for Kalos, we thought it would be best to give Ash a Fairy type for his Alola team.
When looking at the Gen 7 fairies, we quickly realized that most of them actually wouldn't work, as some of them already had a typing that Ash's team already had, like Morlo versus Rowlet, and some of them were already owned by other characters in the anime, just like Mimikyu or Popplio. So that left us with 2 fairy-type Pokemon, with Comfey and Cutiefly, and we decided there were 3 main reasons for Cutiefly being the better option of the 2. First off, it gives a secondary typing with Bug, which would definitely be beneficial throughout his journey in the region, and that actually leads me into our second main point, and actually the most important part is that there are 3 trials it would be really good against, while Comfey would only really be good against 2, as there is a Grass trial, a Dark trial, and a Dragon trial, and as we all know, Fairy is great against Dark and Dragon, but Bug is superior against the Grass trial. And to go along with that, we have our final point where Ribombee, if he ever did get a Ribombee, which I would hope he would, it would make a lot of sense. That thing is a lot faster than Comfey, and Ash is just a lot better in general with speedier Pokemon, so I feel like that would be a perfect fit for them, and I could see him having a lot of success in the region with Ribombee.
Number 4. Sneasel on his Johto team. Sneasel would have added a good amount of type diversity to Ash's Johto team since he did not own a Dark or Ice type while he was in Johto. But in addition to that, Dark and Steel type were the 2 new types in Johto, and it would have been really cool for Ash to have one as a way to show off the brand new types. The Steel types didn't really fit as well, so a Dark type would have worked really well. Sneasel also would have given him a lot of help against the Johto gyms since it matches up well against 3 of them. Falkner's Flying Gym, Morty's Ghost Gym, and Claire's Dragon Gym.
The number one thing that stuck out to me when looking through his Johto team is that not many of the Pokemon really had that edge you want to see with a team. I mean, these are just creatures that are battling against each other to come out victorious and knocking out other ones in the process, and you want them to have a mean streak, or at least a few of them. And a lot of the Pokemon on this team were cute, and it was nice to see them, but beyond Heracross, we didn't really have another Pokemon like that, and I feel like Sneasel would have really brought in that edge and that mean streak that would have really helped this team potentially get over the top and maybe, just maybe, bring him to a championship. The shiny Noctowl was really cool, but the regional birds aren't really going to be that Pokemon that has an edge or really puts you over the top in that way.
like we said, Ash does really well with speedy Pokemon, so Sneasel is absolutely perfect for that. Number 3, a Sableye on his Hoenn team.
Another typing that Ash has never had in any of his travels across the Pokemon lands is actually a Ghost typing, and when looking through all the regions, we decided that Hoenn would be the absolute best region for him to get a Ghost type Pokemon in. It would be a fantastic typing for multiple gyms, actually being immune to 2 of them, and while immunities in the Pokemon anime aren't always exact and always used, it would definitely be better against the fighting and normal gyms than most Pokemon, as well as being fantastic against the very difficult Psychic gym. There's also a lot of really cool Ghost Pokemon in this region, and the ones we had to choose from were Shuppet, Duskull, Shedinja, Sableye, and we just decided that Sableye would be the absolute best fit.
The main reason Sableye is the best fit is because not only is it a Ghost type, but it's also a Dark type. Not only does that give him much more type diversity for his team, but because the Fairy type wasn't around in Gen 3, Sableye doesn't have any weaknesses, and that would have helped out Ash a lot. Although, Ash never really cared about weaknesses at all in the first place, so maybe it wouldn't have helped that much. But it might have. In addition to its better typing, we also think that Sableye is a better fit appearance-wise, since Bayonet and Dusclops seem just a bit too scary for Ash. And it would have had a lot of potential to be a very amusing team member. You can see that Sableye has a pretty entertaining personality based on its Battle Revolution animations, so I think a Sableye on Ash's team would have been a very funny, mischievous little character, always trying to eat jewelry and stuff like that. Number 2, Abra on his Kanto team.
Just like both the Fairy and Ghost typings, Ash has never had a Psychic type Pokemon in any of the different regions he's traveled to, and to me, that's just ridiculous. There was an abundance of Psychic type Pokemon starting in the first generation of Pokemon games, and throughout all the generations there have been a lot more Psychic type Pokemon than definitely Ghost types, and especially Fairy types, as they were just recently introduced. Adding on to the abundance of Psychic type Pokemon that Ash could have used, Psychic was also the most broken typing in the first generation games, and it wasn't just something we saw in the handheld games. In the anime itself, we were able to see firsthand how great Psychic type Pokemon could have been, especially with Sabrina's gym, and it just would have been perfect for his team in general to get a Psychic type.
The options for a Psychic type for Ash's Kanto team were Abra, Drowsy, Mr. Mime, and Jinx, since every other Psychic type out there was a dual type that overlapped with one of the members of Ash's already existing team. Or it was Mewtwo. Abra is easily the best option of those 4, since not only is it the fastest, it's also not extremely creepy. In addition to being the fastest and the least disturbing, it would have been really powerful once it evolves, and since Ash likely would not have gotten an Alakazam due to the trade barrier, he still would have kicked a ton of butt with Kadabra. Also, Teleport likely would have led to some very amusing shenanigans. Before we reveal our number 1 pick, we wanted to list off some honorable mentions.
First up, we believe that Alolan Sandshrew or Alolan Sandslash would be perfect on his Alola team. He's never had a Steel type before, so that would be amazing, and none of the typings overlap with any of the Pokemon he has on the team already.
It's also the only way for them to show off Alola forms for Ash's team, since none of the other ones fit, due to either typing reasons, the Pokemon already having a large role in the show, or he at some point owned the regular one. Or it's just freaking stupid.
Secondly, we believe that either Cubone or Marowak would have been perfect for his team in the Orange Islands. The best reason we have for this is that Ground was amazing against half of Drake's team, and considering that was the finale battle in the Orange Island series, we think that this would have been a pretty cool addition.
And as we've said before, Ash is much better with fast Pokemon, and Marowak is the fastest ground type from Gen 1, other than Onix, Sandslash, and Dugtrio. And we're not doing those 3 because Brock had the Onix, we just talked about Sandslash, and Dugtrio just really would not have fit with Ash in my opinion. Marowak also would have been some really nice extra variety for his Orange Islands team, in addition to Lapras and Snorlax. Number 1, Honedge on his Kalos team. Remember how we said we had something better for Kalos? Well, Honedge is 100% the one. As a Steel Ghost type, it takes care of 2 of the types that Ash has never had, and it also adds a ton of typing variety to his Kalos team, which it sorely needed. A third of his team was Dragon type, and half of it was Flying type. Come on, man! Battle balance that stuff.
Not to mention that its typing is phenomenal in the Kalos region. It is amazing against 5, yes I said 5 of the 8 different gyms, with Steel Ghost being great against Rock, Fighting, Fairy, Psychic, and Ice. It would have been really cool to see that in addition to the rest of the Pokemon on this team, and I think it would have added a very interesting battling style alongside the rest.
And of course, Aegislash is extremely cool. So there we have it. Those are the top 5 Pokemon that Ash should have caught or should catch in the future. If you haven't already, be sure to use the link down in the description below or the card in this video to go check out the video we did on John's channel, Top 5 Pokemon Ash Should Not Have Caught. And after that, be sure to watch our Pokemon Anime Theme Battles series. It's a lot of fun, and while only 2 have come out so far, many more are on the way.
Make sure to let us know in the comments below whether or not you agree with this list and what other Pokemon you think would have been really cool to see on all of his different anime teams. There's a lot of awesome Pokemon, and feel free to get creative.
And don't forget to check out my second channel, Michael Groth. Follow me on Twitch for some fun live streams. Consider supporting me on Patreon and sign up for the Nintendo Switch giveaway. Links all in the description below. Alright, that's all I have for now. So until next time, Pokefans, gotta catch them all!